Designed in response to a new generation of American fighters, which included the F-15 and F-16, the MiG-29 presented a formidable threat to Western pilots. Among the many countries that purchased the MiG-29 Fulcrum, there was also the Luftwaffe of East Germany. Luftwaffe MiG-29s were kept in service after German reunification on the 3rd of October 1990, and were used as a quick reaction alert QRA service, but also as adversary aircraft during NATO air training exercises. The most impressive aspect of the Fulcrum's performance for the American or NATO pilots was its low-speed maneuverability combined with its helmet-mounted sight system. In a low-speed fight, fighting the Fulcrum is very similar to fighting the F-18 Hornet, but the MiG-29 Fulcrum has a very obvious thrust advantage over the Hornet. At low speeds, the Fulcrum displays good nose authority characteristics similar to the Hornet, which makes it very dangerous in a dogfight. However, a skilled pilot can counter this by going into the vertical, where the slow-speed MiG will not be able to follow. The MiG-29 visibility is not great. The pilot is unable to see directly behind the aircraft, instead having to look out the side slightly to be able to see behind, which makes it difficult for a MiG pilot to maintain visual contact and an optimum lift vector at the same time. This shortcoming can be a real problem, especially when flying against an aircraft as small as the F-16. Also, the MiG-29 Fulcrum was not built for close-in dogfighting, though it is aerodynamically capable of it. The East Germans flew it as a point defense interceptor, similar to the MiG-21. They were not allowed to max perform the aircraft, to explore its capabilities or their own capabilities. Sorties lasted about 30 minutes. The aircraft was designed to scramble, jettison the tank, go supersonic, shoot its missiles, and then go home. However, the German Luftwaffe pilots did a great job showing off the MiG's dogfighting capabilities during training missions with NATO F-16s and F-18s, sometimes even scoring kill ratios as high as 1-to-1. Despite the reputation of the MiG-29 as being a pushover, it becomes obvious that in the right hands, the MiG-29 can be a formidable opponent. Alright guys, here we are today in the Turkish F-16. Now, as a lot of you know, the F-16 is still in early access, so I actually don't have a radar gun sight to use. I gotta use the funnel here. So here we are, we're gonna put our nose down a little bit and convert some gravitational energy into kinetic. And he's gonna go right over the top there. We're gonna roll, slight nose down attitude, start pulling hard. Coming around for that second merge here. And it looks like we might be coming neutral through this merge here. He's going down low pretty hard here. I'm gonna roll it, try to come up underneath him. He kind of coaxed me into that. I shouldn't have done that because I'm gonna build up a lot of kinetic energy in this dive here. Had to ease off the stick a little bit so I don't black out. That causes more speed that I don't need. And that's not great. There he goes over the top there. I'm gonna try to roll with him again. You gotta maintain that visual or you're gonna lose this fight here. And lift vector behind the bandit, pull hard. Got some really violent scissors here as we do these. Still trying to maintain that visual, put the lift vector behind the bandit here, and pull hard, try to stay behind him. He's doing a pretty good job of that himself, actually. You can see he's coming real close to getting behind me every time. We're pretty neutral through those. And he's almost getting his nose around on me, which is not good. And here we go. He's gonna cross. There it is. Yeah, crossing in front of the 12 o'clock position gets you killed like that. Gotta be real careful with that. He was doing a really good job though. Really good job, putting up a great fight. There's that ejection. It's good to see.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, here we come with round 2. He's probably pretty pissed off at this point, so I suspect this is going to be a different fight. Because he's definitely good. He's definitely got the skills necessary to beat me here, so we'll see how this goes. Again, we got our nose down, converting gravitational potential energy into kinetic, and we're going to convert that in the merge here. We're going to go for a full vertical. And we'll see what he does. There he goes over the top. And we're going vertical. And he sees us go vertical, he's going vertical too. And we're pretty high up there. We might go into the contrails, which is going to make it really easy to see each other. 31,000 feet. I'm in the cons, and so is he. We're both marking. Looks like he's going real high. I can't follow that vertical. I don't have enough speed, so I'm just going to have to roll over onto my right side here and just follow him horizontal through this one. Alright, here he comes conning again on his way down. Looks like I'm inside of a circle here, so I should be able to get myself behind him, theoretically. He's pulling up hard here. Maintain that visual. Comes, I'm a little worried about this one. This one's gonna be close. No, we're still alive. Just barely. Alright, so we've managed to get ourselves behind him here. I'm a little too close to him. I'm a little close, which means he might be able to force an overshoot, which is exactly what he's trying to do. I'm trying to barrel roll and see if I can shoot out in front of him. I'm gonna stay with him. Pull him hard on that stick here. He's not going to make that same mistake of crossing my 12 o'clock again. If I had a radar gun sight, this would be a lot easier. Alright, so we're behind him again. And he's diving for the ground. We managed to win those rolls. We're up behind the 6 o'clock here, and he's trying desperately to get me off here. He's trying to do some barrel rolls. I'm well within his control zone, so he might be able to get me to overshoot here. I'm gonna go vertical, try to stall the aircraft out maybe if necessary. Damn it. Yeah, we're gonna go for the stall, see if we can get him to shoot in front of us. Come on, come on, come on. There he goes, underneath us. A little bit of a stall there. On the way down, we're going to roll it out so we don't hit the ground. It kind of worked, but he did a really nice job of coming back around. And he's doing a great job of staying outside of my nose. He's pulling up behind me here. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't like that at all. He's winning these rolls here, the scissor. In the rolls, I guess. Oh no, I lost visual. Oh, god damn it. Yep, not enough time to eject. That's it. Alright guys, so here's our Tackview. I'm in the blue F-16 over here, and we got device over here in the red Mig-29. The 29 is sitting at a gross weight of 32,000 pounds, give or take, and I'm at 27,000, so he's about 5,000 pounds heavier than me. He needs all the fuel he can get because the Mig-29 burns the crap out of basically any fuel it carries. I believe it can hold about 7,200 pounds of internal fuel. The F-16 is also a guzzler of fuel, but more efficient than a Mig-29. So there we went in for the merge. I think we were about 500. Notice the slight nose down attitude as we try to build up some speed that we can exchange later. This is a pre-merge setup right here. There he goes over the top. And I'm going to do a slight nose down and start pulling really hard through it. You can see 8 Gs. Now the F-16, we've talked about this before. I can't really use it the way it's meant to be used, and that is to put it in the max rate speed, which is around 430 to 410, 430. It's more of a plateau in the F-16, and pull hard through the stick at 9 Gs is what the F-16 is designed to do. Due to the blackout mechanics in DCS, we can't currently perform the one thing the F-16 was designed to do. However, they are working on it. So, and I believe there was a post by Matt Wagner that said it was a high priority. So, that's good to hear. But the point is, I can't really use the F-16 the way it was meant to be used, but I'm going to try to do something similar anyway. As I try to sit around max rate, and come around on him here. He's going to go underneath me, and I'm going to have to maneuver in relation to the bandit, which means I'm going to turn around and go back into him. Now, you want my honest opinion, I kind of put my nose down a little too steep here, and I start to gain a lot of speed. Luckily, he follows me down here, which, I mean, he's welcome to do it, but he's going to build up speed like I did, and which is fine. We're both at the same speed now. Neither has an advantage. He's going to climb, try to go over me, try to dump some of that speed. As he goes over, he's going to roll. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to come up vertical with him and try to roll around him. And pretty much at this point, we've tried to initiate a scissor of some kind. Now, we talked about this in the last video. When you turn on the lift vector, that's this red line right here. You want to try to put this lift vector just slightly behind the bandit here and pull hard. And when you do that, you can actually win the scissor theoretically, if you do it better than him, he'll pop out right in front of you here. So let's watch this. So lift vector behind the bandit, wait for it, right here-ish. I mean, I could definitely do a better job. My lift vector is kind of down here, but if you draw the line, it's sitting behind him-ish. It's not great. It's not pretty at all. But you can see that having done that, pulling hard into that, he's shooting out in front of me. He's trying to do the same thing to counter that. So once again, there's my lift vector behind the bandit, and then I'm pulling hard into him. And there he goes, popping out in front of me. Right, lift vector again behind the bandit, and I got lucky there, and he crossed in front. So I was trying to line up my lift vector so that when we come through a second scissor, I'll be able to slot in behind him, but I got lucky and he crosses right on my 12 o'clock position, and I just managed to hold him down. So unlucky for the German Mig-29. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the next round here. Now, once again, I would love to max rate fight with the F-16, however, it's not really possible. I mean, you can do it a little bit, assuming that the other guy has no idea what the hell he's doing. You might be able to come close to those max rate speeds, but you'll be blacking out pretty much the entire time. You might get lucky with it, I don't know. But if the other guy knows what he's doing, you're pretty much done for if he can hold his max rate speed. You literally can't do the one thing that you're supposed to do. So anyway, and this merge, we go for the vertical, both of us here, and you can see that I'm rating a little bit better than him, about double his degrees per second turn here. And so he's going to go vertical right over the top. He's got a tremendous amount of speed and continues right over top of me here. And now I could have just gone vertical and gone with him, but there's no way I had the speed to do that. You can see an indicated airspeed of 150, so I kind of had to flip it horizontal, nose slight down attitude here to try to build up some speed as I come around. I got lucky and he loops basically right underneath me, so basically puts himself exactly where I want him to be, and we quickly fall into this almost scissor-like thing again, almost like a downward spiral. You can see we cross right there, come real close to a mid-air collision there, and so we can see constantly maneuvering in relation to the bandit, turn into him. He turns away, not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if he lost control of his aircraft there, but as I started to come left, he rolled left as well, basically gave me his 6 o'clock here. He obviously notices that, so he reverses that turn, tries to come back into me. He gets away with it because I don't have a lot of speed to make him pay for it. He does that, he turns back in. So what he's trying to do is force an overshoot at this point, it seems like, because I'm inside of like the control zone behind his aircraft, and that's going to be within 1,500 feet. If you're anywhere inside of 1,500 feet, then that guy basically has control over you because you're not going to have reaction time. So that's kind of what he's going for, because you can see we're inside 1,500 feet here. Okay, so we get inside of this downward spiral, and he continually crosses in front of me here. And so here he is, we're in this downward spiral. I'm doing a really good job of staying behind him for the most part, but he does manage to get off, pull behind me here, but in order to do it, he does a really risky thing where he cuts across my 12 o'clock. And so he's behind me again. I'm constantly maneuvering. Now, Where the MiG-29, we already talked about this, and low-speed fighting is very good at nose authority. We talked about that in the intro of the video. So the problem is I wouldn't normally be fighting the MiG-29 like this. I'd be max rate fighting them, but like I said, I can't do that, so I'm kind of screwed here in terms of this. I kind of have to fight his fight, and so I managed to get him to shoot off in front, and here we are behind him, pretty much following, seeing what he wants to do. He's trying to do these little loops that cause overshoots, and so you can see, because I'm way too close to him here, and he knows that. So he knows that if he does enough of these loops, I won't be able to keep up with him. And I'm sitting at Mach 0.6, he's at Mach 0.4. He's much slower than me. So the only way for me to not overshoot him is to go vertical and roll into him. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go vertical, roll around in an attempt to stay behind him. And it works. I managed to get off another round of shots, but unlucky for me, none of them hit him. And so he does the same thing, goes vertical. He manages to get behind. He rolls and tries to come across. And it looks like he actually may have been in a killing situation here. No, he wasn't. He couldn't get his nose on. It was close though. And so here we are. This is that whole spiral thing. Turn on the lift vector again. It's easier said than done, obviously, but you want to put that lift vector behind the bandit, pull hard, and hopefully you can make him pop out in front of you. You can see we're pretty neutral through both of these. Neither one of us is really winning or losing. See that lift vector pointed behind the bandit, pulling hard. Maintaining neutral because he's doing a pretty good job of it himself. And we're just kind of doing these loops around each other. And right here, this is the part where I lost visual, right here. So as he went over the top that one time, this happened in the last video too, I lost the visual, and I just wasn't expecting him to roll out like this. You know, I was expecting him to be over here somewhere behind me, but he's off to my 9 o'clock here, or sorry, 3 o'clock, and he just manages, he does what I did to him before. I cross in front of his 12 o'clock and he hoses me down. So definitely call that revenge. Not enough time for an ejection, and I'm dead. Alright, so that's the Tackview. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and the Tackview. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.